TLDC little broadcast here. It seems like I've taken maybe a couple weeks break, which I sort of really needed to do anyway. So, hello, nice to see all of you. Let me know if you can hear me. My setup has changed a little bit. Thanks, Lita. I appreciate that. Yeah, things have been kind of crazy with work and a lot of different things, and so I needed to kind of back off a little bit and get some other stuff done. But I was, of course, I planned some other things, just got things going. And I think that's one of the primary reasons why I'm having this broadcast right now is because I want to talk about some of the things that are coming up for the rest of the year, and maybe even beyond that. But yeah, and maybe some of you can help. So let's go on this. I hope you all are doing well. It just always seems like there is stuff going on in the world of L&D. There's been, I know that every time that I go to LinkedIn, which is, I probably go to LinkedIn like once or twice a week. There's just, there's a lot of activity there, and it's, I find that sometimes if I pay too much attention, I get kind of knocked off my course of stuff that I need to do that I'm focused on. So I try not to get into social media too much. But it seems like people are excited about upcoming conferences, things like that. But we have some of our own things here at TLDC that I want to talk about and hopefully find some help with. Let me see. I have like a little simple slide set that I can share with all of you. Let me get this. And also, my setup is a little different because my old camera is overheating, so I have a new camera. Julia, it's great to see you. Thanks so much for joining up. You've been saying some very nice things about me on LinkedIn, or I saw that last time and I was like, oh my gosh, I ran in and told my wife. All right, excellent. So just a reminder, coming up next month, we have this graphic design for instructional design event that I'm very excited about. We have 6 speakers for it, and I don't know if even Bridget is in the audience. I haven't gotten back to your email. What ended up happening was, I had a few people that were in mind already, like, Nick and Nick Floro and Rick Jacobs were kind of, 2 people that I'd already had in mind. But then somebody had suggested Kevin Thorne. I've known Kevin Thorne for years, and just shot him an email, and he was, of course, just totally up for it. And then Bela, thank you so much. I mean, I work in Canva every day, so I can't wait to hear you talk about Canva because I would like to learn more. By the way, if any of you were able to catch the last Canva conference that they had, they announced a whole bunch of stuff. It was pretty amazing. They're coming up with an entire suite of things like that includes video and even like word processing documents, and just they're doing a bunch of stuff. So Canva is definitely a tool you should keep an eye on going forward. It's pretty crazy what Canva is up to. But then Joe Suarez and Kayleen reached out as well, because Kayleen is actually an artist and love to have her on any TLDC event. And Joe Suarez has some really interesting things to say about graphic design and text. And I thought that would be a nice addition. So Bridget, I didn't reach out. I think it was to Chris and somebody I can't remember all, because we sort of filled up. And since it's a single day event, I just wanted to get those 6 speakers, and that's what we got. I think it's a great lineup. But I would like to do more on graphic design for instructional design in regular TLDcasts. So that is one of my first things on the agenda that I want to talk about, is that this, Bobby, let's see, you're asking, for this event, can you purchase the recording, or do you need to sign up now and then be sent the link after the event? For this event, so this one is, the graphic design one is set up as a member event, or it's $20 to get in. And one of the reasons why, and I should kind of go back to this, the way I do things is I have a series of events like AIDC, which we did in the summer. The transitioning to L&D one, which we've done pretty much 2 of them this year. And then coming up, we're having the inclusive design event. Those types of events, I like to make to offer those events for free to everybody. But to fund those events, I have the member only events that are either a cost to get in, like $20, or buy a membership, and then you can get all of them for free for the entire term of your membership, which is typically annual. And so Bobby, I'll send you, you'll get the recording. If you register for it, that's the best way, but register for it, and you'll get a link to the recording. If you're a member, you probably may have gotten a thing saying that you can sign up for it. But yeah, so, but going back to the weeklies, TLDcast, like, I'm so happy that you're all here, and it feels good for me to come in and be able to talk with folks here in the community. But I do need help producing some of these, because I've done some outreach, interviewing current members and just different folks, but it feels like I don't know. It's hard to, I think that maybe a bulk of the members that have come in lately, especially, are transitioning teachers. And so maybe getting into a TLD cast is a little daunting, or not quite sure, they're not quite sure how to handle it. But if any of you have any ideas at all about interviewing other instructional designers or learning experience designers, anyone in L&D, and need a platform, please consider TLDcast. I will get you, into the admin area, and you can interview somebody. And really, I don't have a slide for it, but when I turn these into the podcasts, I mean, I'm even surprised to say it, but over the course of, the years that we've been doing this, there's been, over 100,000 downloads of TLDC episodes, which I think is really cool. And it's just continuing, of course. So I do think that there is an audience out there. And yeah, I know, Bridget, it's crazy. I don't even, sometimes I look at numbers, because I know other people inflate numbers, but when I look at TLDCs, I'm like, wow, 100,000 people, that's a lot. But the audience is out there. And I do think that that TLDC and the stuff that we do, it's just a worthwhile conversation to have, even if you're just, having a conversation because strictly, purely out of curiosity. That is important to me. I just like to keep that going, because I know for myself, whenever I need to maintain any sort of discipline about learning about something, having a regular course of, I guess, even if it's just conversations or subject matter, is really, really helpful to keep me, keep me on topic, and keep me going to learn more. And I know for instructional design, anybody that is focused on their professional development, having a resource where, every week you might be able to listen to whatever episode, it can be helpful for your professional development. So if any of you at all are interested in hosting and interviewing anybody, I would love it. I'm going to continue to look for guests, and I just haven't had time, especially over the last few weeks. And so let me know if you're interested in doing that. Let's see, I'm going to read here. Tom, I've always enjoyed representing at your events and all the cast house involved in great opportunity. Yeah, thank you. Love it, Bridget. If you're at all, and it really is fun. And it, initially when I first started doing this, it was a way of getting people on the broadcast that, before it might have been something where I would go to a conference and I'm like, okay, I would love to have coffee with this person and to chat with this person, or stop by their booth and talk about this, or, maybe I can, find them, they're speaking, and I can chat with them after their session, that type of thing. Having this having a TLDcast or this thing as a resource, I've been able just to reach out and say, can I interview you for this broadcast? And I've been able to get them on. So you can also use that. That is an opportunity as well. So keep me keep me in mind, Bela. I would love it. You are totally a natural at this stuff, and I would be honored if you were interested in helping tell other people's stories through TLDC. So just reach out to me. It would be it would be great. Let's see. And then last thing I got here. So the next kind of free big event we have, last year we premiered the Inclusion, Diversity, Equity, and Accessibility for Learning Conference. Somewhat similar to AIDC, but this one does focus more on diversity, equity, and inclusion. So this one is a big one. It's last year. It was absolutely fantastic. It pretty much like rocked my world when we hosted this one last year. I should put the links to the recording somewhere. So if you haven't seen those, you should see them. I'm even thinking about it right now. I'm getting like goosebumps because there were a few instances where I'm like, oh man, that really got to me. We had some wonderful speakers. And so for this next one, which I want to host the Ideal 2022 event in November, I could really use your help because I think, the community, of course, is way more out there and is seeing more wonderful speakers and content, things from folks that, in my little processes and workflows, I just get stuck here just doing my thing. I'm not as much out there. And so I could really use help producing that one. And so any of you that have worked and, just help even advise a little bit on Slack for TLDC, it'll be the same format, just looking for ideas. But I think this one, what will really help is also continuing to do those tables that like we did at the last event, because those tables seem to actually stick pretty well. And so I'd like to do that for this next one. I don't think it's going to be a week-long thing. It might be a couple days instead. But let me know if this is something that you are interested in, because I would love to get some help building this one out, help from the community. And I do want to mention, so, I love doing the, building the workflows and building processes. That's more, I think, my thing than it is even hosting. Definitely more than hosting, because believe it or not, I am totally uncomfortable doing this most of the time. But I would, so if anybody out there is also interested in when I produce these events and just helping moderate and introducing speakers, I would that would be very, very cool too. Just because as a kind of one-man shop, I'm there are all these different things that I have to cover, and it can get to be a lot sometimes. So for this event in particular, I would love it to be quality, and I want to make sure that in L&D there is a place that people can go to talk about this stuff. And it's so important. And I think that if we've learned anything over the last few years, is that there are many of us that prioritize inclusion and accessibility and DEI and L&D. It was something that I used to quietly try to prioritize, because for whatever reason, culturally, I just didn't feel like it was something that I could openly talk about. But being able to offer an event that is focused on this, and events like AIDC, is super important for me, because TLDC really isn't like any other organizations in that I'm not prioritizing generating revenue or money or anything. I'm like, what if we just build a community that has impact, and and just help other people and go from there. So, although I accept memberships and all that stuff, that's not something that, I push super hard. I get enough so that we can, keep things going. But more than anything, I'm just looking for impact and change and just helping other people get better. And this particular audience and what we all do is that's pretty much the goal, is to help people find their potential and get better at what they do. So keep that in mind with that. So let me turn my screen share off quick here. Wait, sorry, this thing is, it's weird. I have like this new microphone that I'm putting right in front of me now, and I don't know if it's good because my old camera used to be sort of on top pointing down, and this is a new kind of streaming camera. All right, so let's see. Yes, Bridget, thanks. It really is kind of a labor of love, this TLDC, and it's something that is kind of built into me now. So I'm going to just continue to see it's helpful whenever like it's a total switch. I mean, I can tell you guys that my history in L&D is, I used to be, when I worked for the Guild, I was really focused on generating revenue, and that was great for my wallet. Like it was really good. When I had to once TLDC started, I kind of had to unlearn all of that and learn for myself what it'd be like to actually build something where I'm trying to, just help people get better at what they do versus, just focused more on myself. Like, and I can sell more registrations to this event by saying this or whatever. Actually, like seeing the results of certain things that I do and saying that worked for these people. So let's do this again, because I'm getting messages from folks saying that this was really helpful for them. So it's a different thing. And I want to continue that. Just I think it's my own journey of wanting to do good. So if you want to ride along, please feel free to reach out to me and we'll do some stuff. It's fun to build this. With that in mind, I do also want to talk about live conferences a little bit, because I know that a lot of folks are talking about, I saw a post, I think Kara North posted that she had heard that DevLearn in Las Vegas, which is happening next month, the registrations for that are approaching like pre-pandemic levels. I'm not sure that's something that, anyway, I think that one of the things that I have really been thinking about with that is that I've seen some people saying it's going back, we're going back to normal, but I don't think that there is any going back. And if next year, and I'm assessing about producing a live conference, one of the things that Kayleen Holt had posted on LinkedIn was about how events now, like for instance, DevLearn isn't accessible because there isn't a virtual component available to it. And I totally agree with that. And if there's anything that I've learned over the last couple years, 3 years, is that you have to have this component, a virtual component, if you want to make your event accessible. And so I'm assessing right now, next year, if I do a live event, I want to make sure that we have a virtual component associated with it, so that it's accessible to everyone, including like our friends. Like if Tom wanted to come to stateside and to an event, that would be great, but otherwise be able to see the event from the UK, to make it global. And so I'm going to be working on that. And I am actually going to DevLearn. I have my tickets and stuff. So I'm going to go check it out. I'll be there to kind of get my head wrapped around things and even just get a feel for whether or not it's something that, doing a live conference is even something that TLDC should be considering, because that was previously my expertise, was producing conferences. I was on that team and helped build DevLearn. So if you're going to be there, let me know. We'll connect, and I'll be walking around. Mostly I'm going to be spending time in the expo because I also want to get more, make more of a connection with the vendors in the space. I know like so many of them, and I'm glad that they're going to be able to do expos and exhibit again. So I'd like to connect with them because I know the TLDC can use those relationships too. It's good to know about products and services available out there. All right, so let's see. Tom saying one day, hopefully, maybe, but hybrid is awesome. It allows us to connect so much more broadly within our little L&D world. Totally agree. Thanks, Julie. Yeah, travel constraints for multiple reasons make an entirely face-to-face conference expectation a form of ableism. Yeah. It is like, I personally, I've actually been getting requests on LinkedIn about, do you recommend going to DevLearn for whatever reason? And I can't say that I really recommend it because it's Las Vegas and it's crazy. Like, you end up, if your focus is trying to learn, you can go there and pick between the, I don't know, what do they have, like 8 to 10 sessions a block. And if I remember correctly, we used to do like 6 blocks a day for 2 full days. So you have literally over 100 sessions to choose from over 2.5 days. And how are you supposed to learn anything? Like, I usually pull, you might be, I don't know. It's tough. It's hard, and it shouldn't be. And yeah, it is sensory overload. It is overwhelming. And yes, and Lita, I can tell you, Learning Solutions to me was way better simply because it was not in Las Vegas. And I don't have anything against Las Vegas if you're going there to do the Las Vegas thing. But if you're going to Las Vegas to try to learn stuff, it's not quite, I don't know, doesn't quite connect with me. When I was at the Guild, we were excited when we first did Las Vegas and we were at the Aria Hotel. It was thrilling to be there, but when it came down to it, it was exhausting after a week being there. It's not fun. So I can't really recommend that show. You could go there, you can get a lot out of the expo, I think, and then attend sessions and all of that. But mostly I think it's just, it's more an experience of, I don't know. I can't say that it's a great learning experience anyway. Yes. Like Bridget saying, it's like trying to study a textbook in a video game arcade. That is absolutely correct. And, and I am looking forward to seeing some of my old coworkers. There has been a change of the guard there as far as leadership. I don't know if any of you knew that, but the Guild was sold to a company from the UK. I can't remember what they're called. They also do the big UK show. So my old boss, David Holcomb, who was the president of the company and CEO and the owner, sold a few years ago. And so it's changed hands, and this is going to be the first DevLearn where he's no longer there. And so that to me is kind of that bums me out because I worked there for a long time and we did a lot of stuff, he and Heidi Fisk, who was the old co-owner. So so I'll be in Las Vegas. And that is pretty much it. If you can, reach out to me if you want to do any kind of TLD cast. A lot of the interviews, really, I try to keep them simple. I come up with 10 questions and just, how we all work. Like, if you have 10 questions, you'll probably get like to 3 or 4 within 30 minutes. And that's it, because, we can talk about this stuff all day. So if you're interested at all in producing some of these interviews or discuss topics, please let me know. And, Bridget, I know you have introduced topics on TLDC, which I so appreciate. Tom, you've been on. Everybody that, I'm so grateful for anybody that's willing to do that. And we just keep the conversation going. We're a community, and we share knowledge, and we get better at what we do. I think that's just core to all of it. So yeah, reach out to me. You can get me on Slack, or let me put in my email address, luis@thetldc.com. And I would love to be able to do something next week, 1, 2, 3, anything, so that I can promote it in the newsletter that goes out every Monday, and we can learn something new from somebody. Okay. All right. So that's pretty much it. Bobby, thanks for coming in. Bela, thank you so much. Let me know what you have on your mind, and we'll see you next time, probably next week. All right. Bye, everyone.